Ramani Mataji works with autistic children. She has a clinic.
Speak a little louder.
She runs a clinic for autistic children, and she's doing amazing work there in her professional life, but also they have a lot of community initiatives that they do, like reforesting after them hanging up fires, etc. So many other amazing things, holding programs in their home as well. And Balabhaji Prabhu served Guru Maharaj as his servant in 2014. You might remember he came to Mumbai and Vrindavan, and he runs a prasad distribution company called Prasad Soul Food. And he makes sourdough bread, and he is sold out before the morning even begins. And cookies and granola, and they're just all in all a lovely, beautiful family. So glad that they're here with us today.
Okay, we'll move those bottles this side. Move the bottles this way. Those bottles. It's in my way, I can't see them. So you're sitting on chairs, or what are you sitting on? It's manageable. It's manageable. There's one chair there if you want to take advantage of it. You're comfortable there. Okay. So who else is visiting us besides others? Oh, Hema Gauri is here, but she's local. Who else is visiting us outside from Mumbai? Outside of Mumbai? Australia. Chandrika, right? But you're from India. Okay. Almost local. Okay, good. Balabhadra also runs a nice program in, I think it's called Pineapple Chapel. Got it right?
That's the venue.
It's called Pineapple Chapel.
Yes.
So he runs a nice preaching program there. So you can tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. When we first moved to Hawaii, we started doing programs out of our house. And then when COVID happened, people felt more comfortable doing programs outside, so we did it in the park for a while. And then after things settled down with COVID, we started doing it in our house again.
Okay.
And then one of the people that comes to our programs, she runs some yoga classes, some sound healing classes out of this place. It's called Pineapple Chapel. And so we started going there, and it's a really nice venue. It's more of a chapel where they do wedding events.
Okay.
But really nice acoustics for kirtan. Very sattvic, clean place. And we twice a month we do.
So he introduces new people to Krishna consciousness like that. You need some warm water to drink, or this water is fine?
This is great.
Cold, you okay?
Yeah.
Because you'll have a flight tonight. You
You
want something warm to drink? Some herbal tea or anything? And you want some? Okay. Any water for anyone to drink? It's still warm inside. Although the AC is on, right? Okay. All right. Feel free to ask me any questions you want on any subject. Any question? Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is about in Bhagavad Gita. It says in chapter 11, time I am, the destroyer of worlds. And we hear that in the spiritual world, there's no such thing as time, or it's time is more evident by its absence. So I'm trying to think about how, like, Krishna is time. So So if we understand time more, we understand Krishna.
Yes.
So that's the basic question. Can you elaborate on that? How, like, in the spiritual world, there's no time, but at the same time, we hear about the gopis are anticipating Krishna in the future, meeting with him, or the gopas are talking about how Krishna did this or did that, so they're talking about the past.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like spiritual time and material time.
Okay. Yeah, the verse is kalos me lokashaya krit. Krishna says, time I am the destroyer of everything in the Bhagavad Gita. So I'll come to slowly the point to what you want to actually know about time, spiritually and materially. Material life is basically living in the past and making plans for the future. People are not living in the present. So material life is basically you're remembering the past of how you can do it better in the future, or you have experience in the past and then you want to work currently to have a better future. Whether it's studying, whether it's earning money, or whether it's whatever you do. So just like if I ask, Vraja Bihari, he goes to the office every day in the factory. He's working hard. But everyone works hard for a better future. But they're not living in the present. That's material life. But in Krishna consciousness, you live in the present. There's no past and there's no future, it's eternal. That's the difference. See? Just like if people watch TV, then they'll see an advert for a better car or for a better washing machine or whatever. So the current one works well that you have, but this is better. So in other words, if you live from your past experiences to plan to live better in the future, then you're not really living. You're not in the present. And that's how it is material life. Now, I did some research on time, and I give several classes on that, like 3 2-hour sessions on that. And generally you may hear, which is not correct, that, come in. Who's sitting on the floor there? Sit on top. Sweta, sit on top. Yeah. Generally you hear that, sometimes we hear from others also, that time is conspicuous by its absence in the spiritual world. You heard this before?
Yeah.
But that is not correct. Srila Prabhupada never said that. What Srila Prabhupada said in my research is that the influence of time is inconspicuous by its absence, not time itself. And that's the correct thing. The influence of time. Yeah. So the influence of time is there only in the material world as a controller and as a master. So we are controlled by time, which effectively gives us a past, looking forward to the future, but not living in the present. So we are controlled by time. Kalos me lokashaya. However, in the spiritual world, the influence of time is inconspicuous by its absence, but time is there as a servant. Time personified is as a servant, not as a master. But Krishna in the form of time is the master in the material world. So that's the difference. Because when you are influenced, then you are controlled. So therefore Srila Prabhupada very clearly states in his purports that the influence of time is inconspicuous by its absence, not time itself. Time in its origination is a servant as much as the Vedas personified as a servant. Right. Are we okay so far? Yeah. So I'll give you an example of this factor, which I included in one book called Bhakti Brhat Bhagavat. Yeah. Just like when there's a rendezvous between Radha Krishna in a place between, say, Nandagram and Yavat, and that place is called Terkadamba. It's in between these two places. So Radharani comes from Yavat and Krishna comes from Nandagram. Yeah. So Radharani moves when the sun is setting, and when the sun sets, the rays of the sun that penetrates through the in between the branches of the trees becomes more dense. It's like golden streaks. You understand it, right? Because the sun is setting and it comes, the rays are like that. So within those golden streaks, Radharani takes shelter, because if she moves within those golden streaks, Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari. She's golden in complexion and form. So when she moves at that time in these golden streaks, then she doesn't get caught, because it's like her form merges with the golden streaks and she comes to Terkadamba from Yavat. Yeah. So from the other side, in Nandagram, Krishna has to come later. Because later means when a day breaks into night and it's very momentary, he has to move fast. See? When day breaks into night, it is a sort of a grayish or blackish blue hue, and he takes advantage of that time to move without getting caught. So he comes later. She comes early when the sun sets. Now in the material world, the rising and the setting of the sun takes away our lives. But in the spiritual world, the rising and setting of the sun enhances that Radharani must not get caught meeting with Krishna, and Krishna must not get caught coming to meet Radharani. It's different. See? And sometimes the setting of the sun in that grayish hue, that's called dawn or dusk in the evening? Dusk, at the dusk, time of dusk. So the sun gradually goes down to create the dusk feature to give Krishna more time to move. But the sun doesn't wait for us for that time. It goes down and it goes down. Yeah. So if you look at the time factor, it's by like the rising and the setting of the sun. One day is gone. See? But that same activity of the sun, spiritually speaking, is enhancing, Radha Krishna to be together. I'll just give you a simple example like that. See? Another practical example in sadhana bhakti is that when you nicely and as best as possible try to complete your 16 rounds of japa in the morning, which Prabhupada recommends strongly, yeah, then you'll find that you'll do everything you need to do during the day after you chant your 16 rounds, and you'll still have time. You may want to do the extra rounds, or you still have time. You'll complete everything you need to do during the day. Yeah. We're talking about your daily activities in terms of being a responsible mother, father, husband, wife, son or daughter, or someone in the office you're going to work with. Yeah. Now, at the same time, when you complete your 16 rounds in the morning, you will find that even difficult things become easy to overcome during the day. And when you complete your 16 rounds in the morning, you will naturally not want to bring pain to any living entity. It's like you won't become angry very easily. Because when you become angry at somebody, they feel pain. Just a mild way, I'm just putting one example. And when you complete your rounds every morning, nicely, 16 rounds, and you will find that you're willing to help others more who are in anxiety and stress and depression. So there's various side effects of chanting around in the morning, but that's not why we chant. But it's a good side effects, you know. By the way, incidentally, that will be there. Now, conversely, if you don't chant all your 16 rounds in the morning, even easy things become difficult to overcome during the day. And also, your lower nature will take the better of you than your higher nature. You can become easily angry and so forth. See? And you won't complete everything you need to do during the day because the chanting, the japa personified, haunts you like a ghost. You know, and you'll say to yourself, I still have to complete my rounds, you know, and it's like 9 o'clock and I still have to do 6 rounds or 8 rounds, you know, it's haunting you. You see, the japa will not leave you, although you are not inclined to associate with japa. But it will not leave you, it will haunt you. And therefore you do not complete everything you need to do during the day. See? So when you complete your japa in the morning, then you say, when you complete everything you need to do, including taking care of the household and the family members and so forth, then you'll say, I have time. I possess time. That means you're controlling time. But when you don't chant your japa in the morning, you'll say, I have no time. I didn't complete everything I need to do, and this is nagging me, haunting me. This japa, I didn't complete my rounds. That means you have no time. That means you're controlled by time. See? So one is on the material platform and the other is on the spiritual platform. So when you say you have time, that indicates that you're living eternally. You're not living in the past, not in the future, but in the present, because you have time. But if you say you have no time, you're living in the past and in the future, but not in the present. That's what the simple, basic, foundational practice in sadhana, bhakti, and Krishna consciousness, japa. That's what happens. So either you are influenced by time materially, or you are controlling time spiritually. And when you control time, you control Radha Krishna. Especially through japa. Is that okay?
Right.
As practical as possible we can explain. All right, and next question. Come. She needs a chair.
There's one person.
Yes, Hemagori.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, so
Hare
nice to
Krishna.
see you. You just answered my question. Actually, I had a question. I was going to ask, what is does the spiritual master give any specific order to, obviously he cannot, because spiritual master can have thousands of disciples and it's not possible. He won't give the specific order like how Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave the order to Srila Prabhupada to go to the West and preach. So like, what could be the general order of the spiritual master that we are supposed to follow? after initiation. So I think, but you can correct me if
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
See, there's various ways of addressing your query. Yeah. One is that we have to clarify what do you mean by spiritual master? Is that just one person or what?
Your Diksha Guru.
All right. So, many years ago, when you became a devotee in the beginning stages of Krishna consciousness, who preached to you?
Temple President,
What's his name?
Dharmaraj.
Dharmaraj.
Yeah.
Where is he now?
Still in Malaga.
You still keep connection with him.
Yes, yes, very good.
So he's your,
Diksha Guru.
yes. See. And then in your formative stages in Krishna consciousness, before you got initiated, who helped you along the way?
Various devotees.
And give me 3 names.
Dharmaraj is His Holiness Bhakti Brhat Swami,
And
and other various devotees.
Okay,
Lots of
fine.
devotees.
Yeah. So then you got initiated, right?
Yeah.
By your Diksha Guru.
Yeah.
So after you got initiated by your Diksha Guru, are there still those devotees who helped you before initiation and after initiation in your life?
Yes.
Yes.
Bhakti Brhat Swami left.
No. That's okay. Yeah. Now, my question to you is that your Diksha Guru is also your Shiksha Guru, yes or no?
Yes, of course.
Right?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So amongst many Shiksha Gurus, there's one person who's a Diksha Guru. But after Diksha, there's only Shiksha. And before Diksha, there's only Shiksha. We okay?
Yes, yes, definitely.
Have I answered your question? You want to ask further?
No, I mean, like you gave the nice conclusion of like chanting your rounds before, I mean, the morning. I feel that is the general instruction that your spiritual master has given us.
It's the specific instruction of the disciplic succession coming through Srila Prabhupada. Coming to Srila Prabhupada. But the main important aspect is that you have so many devotees before you got initiated that helped you to come to the point of chanting minimum 16 rounds and following the 4 principles. Then your Diksha Guru, as a formality, gave you the name and you took the vow of chanting 16 rounds. So before Diksha and after Diksha, the Shiksha continues. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada says in the purport in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that the most essential instruction of the spiritual master is to chant at least 16 rounds of japa daily. So that is our foundational practice. It's like when you build a home, if the foundation is not firm, then everything you build upon it will collapse. So if the foundational practice of chanting 16 rounds of japa is weak, then whatever you do will collapse. See? Now, before taking that formality of initiation called Diksha, and after Diksha, the Shiksha continues. But your spiritual master is not going to chant your 16 rounds for you. Who has to chant it? You, right?
Yes.
Yeah. As much as when you're hungry, nobody can eat for you. They may feed you, but you still have to eat.
Yeah.
See, so that's more important. So one time one disciple approached Srila Prabhupada and he asked 2 questions after he just got initiated by Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada told him, because Srila Prabhupada didn't know him well, and he didn't know Srila Prabhupada well. But Srila Prabhupada knew the temple president well, who recommended the disciple to be initiated by Prabhupada. You getting it now? Yeah. So the temple president at that time, because everyone would join during Prabhupada's time, must live in the temple. And the natural Shiksha Guru is the temple president, who recommends to Prabhupada to initiate them. So Srila Prabhupada told the disciple, my initiation is just a touch, just a formality. Now you have to practice, now you have to follow. Right? And then Srila Prabhupada asked him, do you have any questions? He said, yes, I have 2 questions. So he said, why do we have to take the vow to follow the 4 regulative principles? Then Srila Prabhupada immediately replied, just to make you a human being. Therefore, that vow is taken first. Because only if you're a proper human being, you can take to the practice of Krishna consciousness. And then Srila Prabhupada said, what else? He said, why do we take a vow to chant at least 16 rounds of japa daily? Right? Then Srila Prabhupada said, you do that because you have to develop your love for Krishna and Radha Krishna. That means to be Krishna conscious. So, really speaking, to be Krishna conscious, you first have to be a human being. Animals cannot do that. Even people have human bodies but with animalistic behavior cannot do that. So that's the foundation. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you.
Are there comments or questions, anyone? Yes. What's your name
Ronak.
again?
Ronak, yes.
Ronak. Okay, tell me.
Maharaj, first of all, thank you for giving me your association. And the question is that we are supposed to be, Krishna conscious 24/7.
You have to be Krishna conscious 24/7.
Yes.
And then? I'm repeating it if you didn't hear. And then?
We want to be Krishna conscious 24/7. But
Yeah.
then we do various activities and actions like simple activities like hearing and everything, to doing complex activities like studies and business. So what does it mean to be Krishna conscious then? Because at that time we cannot think of Krishna, right? At that time we are doing work, whatever work it is. So what does it mean to be really Krishna conscious 24/7 and how to be Krishna conscious 24/7?
Okay. So, this is a real life example that happened in another country. So in that area of the world, there's no temple. So I happened to be staying in a devotee's home, and they have like what is called Bhakti Brhat or like Namahata programs. There's no ISKCON temple. The nearest ISKCON temple is like 3 hours away. Yeah. So I was staying with the devotees. Yeah. So I observed that that the mother of the home, like that, she was not very positive about the neighbor. Because the neighbors were not devotees. Like that. And like sometimes we have this thing that, we are devotees, we are better than others. They're meat eaters, but one time you were, you didn't know that. You forgot that. Yeah. So I saw there was a bit of fanaticism like that. So I tried to tell her in front of her husband, father, and they have 2 small children. So I tried to tell her, you be very kind to them next time. She said, no, they're not devotees. Like that. I said, one day she's going to help you. I said, what? She needs our help. We are devotees, they're not devotees. Like she was bent on that. Then I said, Krishna is going to arrange. I didn't know what's going to happen. Krishna is going to arrange for her to help you. So I went away, and then after 2 years later, I went to the same area. And before that, the husband told me, the father of the house told me what happened. So they have a swimming pool in the backyard. in that. And their home is one story, ground floor. The neighbor's house is 2 stories, grounds and upstairs. So when the lady next door, who was not a devotee, she went upstairs, she could see over the fence and then the swimming pool. So the mother, who was a devotee who I was staying with, she was chanting a japa outside in the backyard. See? But she wasn't noticing that a young child was crawling to the swimming pool. She was absorbed in being Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And the child is crawling. The child is crawling to the water, swimming pool. So this lady, she was upstairs, the neighbor. She started screaming frantically. She's screaming at her. She says, your child. So she wasn't hearing the lady screaming and what she's saying. She's saying this lady next door, she's not devotee, she's like a demoniac now, she's gone crazy, she's screaming at me. She's not hearing it, the child. When something is going to happen that's not favorable or inauspicious, like the child may move into the pool, or jump in there. So when you want to say it, you may not say the actual words because you're frantic. She's saying, child, something like that. This lady couldn't hear. See? So she came down, and fortunately the front gate was not locked. She burst in. She ran to the backyard of the devotee's house, and the child was just almost to the edge, not going in. She picked up the child. And then she saw, why you come for my child? You can see the child is almost going in the water. Then she realized. The neighbor helped. So she forgot she's a mother. Getting it? And she's neglectful in the responsibility of taking care of the child because she's chanting japa. See? So therefore Krishna consciousness makes you a better mother, makes you a better father, a better husband, better wife, better daughter, better son. And Krishna consciousness also makes you a better colleague at work. And Krishna consciousness makes you a better boss in your factory to take care of your employees. You have more feeling for these people. See? And the greatest example is Arjuna himself. Arjuna didn't want to fight, he wanted to go to the forest. Take like a brahmana's consciousness, but he's a Kshatriya. So, the whole Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada said, was spoken to Arjuna just to make him angry to fight. Prabhupada said, because if you're not angry, you won't fight. So Krishna instigated it. But the fighting is not important. Whatever service Krishna wants you to do is important. If he wants you to fight, then you fight, because it's service to Krishna. See? So I'll give you another example. When I was the president in Durban Temple, Shri Shri Radha Temple, now I like to go to the vegetable market. And there's another devotee named Jai Sachinandan. Up to today he still goes. He likes. So sometimes we send the Matajis to buy flowers. Now, if I send you to the vegetable market or the flower market to buy flowers for the deities to make flower garlands, right? Yeah. So while the flower seller is there and you are chanting japa, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, and you tell them, okay, this flower, that's fine, this is the amount you pay. Because you want to be Krishna conscious 24 hours a day. So you're chanting your japa, but you don't know you're getting cheated from this man who's giving you flowers from yesterday and he's overpricing it, and you're happy and you chanted japa and you bring it. Is that how you'll do the service? No. You'll be conscious that you get the best flowers for the least price.
Right.
You put your bead bag aside.
Right.
See? So you must be living in the present of a particular service. If it is a service to be a good mother, then take care of your child. You can chant japa, but there's an auspicious background, not really your japa time, but you can have your eye on the child. Is that okay? Is that all right?
Yes, sir. I understood that the japa has an effect on your activities, and
Now the japa is meant to give you the proper consciousness to do your responsibilities better.
right,
A better mother, better father, better husband, better wife, better son, better daughter.
right,
You hearing it?
right. Yes.
We okay? So I'll give you a third example.
Okay.
So, in this particular family, in another part of the world outside of India, like that, the mother was a devotee, practicing devotee, but the father and children were not. So she told her husband, the father in the house, that I'm calling one devotee. I was a brahmachari then. So I went to the home. So she was severely complaining in front of her husband, the father and the children, that they're not listening to me about the value of Krishna consciousness. So I turned the whole thing around and I complained to her about her, that why are you forcing them? So the father of the house is saying, exactly, I asked her the same question, why are you forcing me? Like that. So then when I asked her, is he providing for you? She said yes. You're giving me money for the household and so. So I said, you have an amazing husband and father of your children. So why are you forcing him? You understand? So the next Sunday feast, he told her, I want to go to the temple and meet this devotee. So he came to temple for the first time. He came to meet me. You understand? Yeah. So we should appreciate and recognize even family members who are not devotees yet. Not that I'm better than you. It's called a holier than thou attitude. That's not good at all. Then on a personal level she came and saw me, and another Mataji was there also when I was speaking to her. She said, how do I improve my relationship at home? I said, the relationship was very good, you made it not good. So what do? I said, now you can apologize to your husband and the father and the children. Look, I want to be a better mother. Tell me how to be a better mother. That's what Krishna consciousness is meant to do. Then automatically you'll become a better father. So they told her, this is how you have to be a better mother. You have to spend time with us. Not that you're so busy in the temple doing this and that, but we don't have time here. So then she spends time with them. Is that okay?
Actually, I'm still a little confused because
He says he's confused because he's speaking on a personal level. I was giving in a general way. So are you married?
no.
Then don't get married. I'm a sannyasi, so it's easy for me. I can chant the whole day, no problem. You live with your mama and papa?
No, right now I'm studying, so
Away from them.
yeah.
Okay.
Maharaji, like,
So, if you are confused, then we have to talk to you because you are dependent on your mother and father, right?
yeah.
For your studies. So we have to talk with you with them. We cannot talk to you independently. Because they need to know what their duties are to be still continue to be responsible for you. Now suddenly if I preach to you and then they don't know you're practicing Krishna consciousness and then suddenly tell them and I'm giving up my studies and I want to take sannyas, become a brahmachari, that's gonna devastate your mother and father, right? You understand? Yeah. So we have to talk to you with them, not separately, independently. Don't go that way that's commonly happened in ISKCON temples in India. You know, some of the, it's called new bhaktas were there. And their parents don't know they live in the temple.
Yeah.
They don't know. That's unfair to the mother especially. It's not fair. Is that okay?
Maharaji, just one thing, how can I be Krishna conscious while doing business?
How can you be Krishna conscious while doing business? Are you doing business currently?
I'm about to start in near about 2-3 years I will be there.
I have no experience. So he's a businessman and he's a nice devotee. You understand? So you have to talk to them. All I can tell you is if any profit, give it to me. We need so much resources to spread Krishna consciousness. That okay?
Yeah.
You talk to him. And who else has business? You do business too, but talk to them. Yeah. And they'll tell me my commission. Okay, other questions? Yes.
So we were fortunate, we went to Gulal Kund in around Zagovardhan with Bhakti Swami. And when we were there, one of the Goswamis in Vrindavan had told pastimes of Radha and Krishna during Holi. And he said that there was different pastimes each day to Radha and Krishna during Holi. And he told a couple pastimes. So then I asked Kusha Devi, who's our friend, she knew of others, and she said, oh, there's a book that's published that actually gives 365 days of pastimes of Radha Krishna that the deity, like some of the pujaris would use to dress the deities, so different pastimes. So I was wondering, Maharaj, if you can share, this is our last day in India for a while, we're recharging our batteries. If you could tell maybe some pastimes of Radha Krishna during Holi, or some pastimes of Radha Krishna that you are your favorite pastimes, and then if you know how to access that book too, we would love to.
I am not sure about the book. I haven't heard of it. So usually with books, I have to find out who is the translator and what is their consciousness like. See, you get many translations of many books, yeah. But I would recommend that the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of ras. It's full of juice. And Srila Prabhupada said that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, this is my favorite book. And there's a lot of references from Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswamis himself, referencing Srila Rupa Goswami's works and so forth in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yeah. So somehow we have to be a little careful that sometimes we may read something that's not, that the author or the translator is not known to us. See? Now whether the author or translator chants minimum 64 rounds of japa to do that, and then, then we can understand. But if somebody is struggling with their japa and they're translating some pastimes of Radha and Krishna, then I don't think we should read those translations. Because the consciousness of the translator comes to you. And then suddenly you'll feel, I don't need to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra Japa, I can just read these pastimes. That's what the effect will be. See? So I don't know which book this is talking about, and so forth. Having said that, just like you have a mother, where is she?
She's in Saskatoon, in Canada.
Canada, okay, yeah, all right. And you have other siblings? Okay. How do we put this? Or say, for example, you have a brother, a cousin brother or something. Yeah. So, and if you have an actual brother and you are the sister, and you have one mother, right? Yeah. So now, if I ask you how much affection and love you have for your mother, can you measure it for me? You cannot, right? We good so far? Yeah. If you do have a brother, and if I ask your brother how much affection and love you have for the same mother who was your mother, can you measure it for me? He'll say no. I cannot. Right? So you have affection and love for one mother, and the same personality who's the mother also has a son. But you are the sister and he's the brother. But both of you have affection and care and love for the same person who's the mother. But it's deeply individual. It's deeply. Yeah. And even if I ask you to explain your love and affection for your mother, you won't be able to explain. Because it's just between you and your mother. And it's just between your brother and your mother. So it's deeply individual. Right? So Radha Krishna's pastimes are like that. We cannot really. See, I live in Vrindavan, and I used to live in Mayapur for many years, but it's my base. And when you live in such a place as your base, I live up to like 4 to 5, sometimes up to 6 months in Vrindavan, collectively in different times. So you feel something, but at the same time, your relationship with your own mother on this sphere, of this platform, is so deeply individual that you cannot explain it to somebody and it cannot be measured. See? So, when we discuss Radha Krishna's pastimes, we cannot discuss it on a level that we are there. We can only discuss it at the level of how close we are coming to Radha and Krishna, especially to Japa. And it is Guyatama, it is deeply confidential. However, as Srila Prabhupada has given us the Krishna book, which is the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay. So one disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, this is like the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So why did you give us the Krishna book? So Srila Prabhupada said, for 2 reasons. Okay. He says, one is that I may not be able to complete the translation of the Srimad Bhagavatam in time. And that happened because just several beginning chapters of the 10th canto is done until, up to Brahma Vimohana Leela. Like that. So he didn't complete it, which is true. He didn't have the time and energy to do that. but he did most of it. Yeah. And then the second reason Srila Prabhupada said that we have to know what the goal is. Therefore I've given you Krishna book. And then Srila Prabhupada said that to this disciple who asked about the Krishna book. He said the Krishna book is a rasa, relationship with Krishna, intertwined with philosophy so you don't misunderstand. There's a lot of philosophy in it too. Like that. So, it is wonderful to associate with the devotees in Braj Mandala. And it is wonderful to hear these things. At the same time, the basis of foundation of our devotional service should be very firm also. Like a reasonably decent morning program and chanting with japa. So these things automatically will arise in the heart. And just like you cannot explain your love and affection for your mother. And if you explain it, you make it cheap. Because it's very confidential, your relationship with your mother. So how much more is it with Radha Krishna? See? So that's one point. The other point is that there's a word called Baba. So Baba has several meanings. And within the context of how you use that word, in its practicality, then you can apply it. Yeah. So the closest English words to Baba is called devotional service in ecstasy. Baba. See? So that's one meaning of Baba, ecstasy. The other meaning of Baba is emotion, feeling. And the third meaning of Baba is like, you could say, I have a bhav with somebody. It's like a relationship, which is akin to the word rasa. So there's like relationship akin to the word rasa, there's feeling or emotion, and there's ecstasy. See? Yeah. Now, the more this is exposed, the less the potency is there, and it's diminished altogether. If it's not exposed at all, then you maintain the spirit of confidentiality in a natural way. In a very, very natural way. See? So therefore, Srila Prabhupada strongly recommended for us that every evening we should read Krishna book before taking rest. At least for 15-20 minutes. And even if the Krishna book, when you read it, it falls on you while you sleep. You can sleep with the Krishna book, that's okay. It's not like a sleeping tablet or something. But you can sleep while reading the Krishna book. So Prabhupada recommended that. And one time in a lecture in Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada says, and literally when Prabhupada was saying it, he was shouting. Again. He said, don't become a better Paramahamsa than your Guru. I have that quote with me. So what Srila Prabhupada has given us is not even sufficient. He gave us so much that we, even in this one lifetime, we won't even absorb. Especially the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in relation to rasa. And the moment we step outside of that boundary, indirectly and unknowingly to one must, unknowingly to the one who's doing it, one must be eclipsing the position of Srila Prabhupada. Like that. One must be eclipsing it unknowingly. Unknowingly. And when that happens to somebody unknowingly, then unknowingly they will live. In that sense. So it's a very important thing. I know I've answered your question in a different way. Is that okay? What's the menu?
8:30 weeks. I think we want to 8:30.
It's 8:30. So for Balabhadra and Mataji, you have some takeaway for them. They're on the flight, also. Besides honoring before they leave, and like something that can. How many? You have taken 2 airplanes? Stopover.
4 stops.
4 airplanes to get to Hawaii. So that's like what, 40 hours or?
35.
So make sure they have some prasad that lasts them for 2 days.
We don't take Ekadashi tomorrow and they have the amount.
Yeah, but something that's
Malati also prepared some non-Ekadashi for them.
Malati, you got some prasad for them. Okay, good. They have something there. All right. So our host is saying we can go to 8:30 with our discussions. Yeah. Anyone else? More questions? Yes.
I'd like to make some comments. It's not a question.
Yes. Say it loudly. He wants to offer some comments. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's regarding the doubt this devotee had about 24 hours of being Krishna conscious, how to come to the practical point. So the similar doubt even I had in my life sometime.
Yeah, say loudly so Hemagori can hear.
And I made this question to my Guru Maharaj, his Holiness Bhakti Brhat Swami. And he explained me in a very simple language. And he said 2 things you have to do only. Make your home into a temple, which means that if anything you do for the home, like even paying electricity bill or repairing a hole in the wall, is devotional service because you're serving Krishna. But when you say home into a temple, it means there's Krishna residing in the temple. He's the real owner, you're just a servant working for him. So anything which you do, even like you pay your EMIs, loans to the bank, for which you have to work very hard to make that money, that is also devotional service because you're paying money to pay for the temple and for the home, which is belonging to Krishna. And secondly, if you're a businessman, make Krishna the boss and you the servant and the loyal servant. Work hard, you can work 24 hours, but because you made Krishna into a boss, it's devotional service. And you take a salary for yourself, not a whole income for yourself. And the rest of the money you employ in preaching the holy glories of the Lord through temples and through preachers, like how Maharaj said, give it to him also. So in some
He's confirming me.
So I took it seriously that point, and then of course besides chanting your rounds, it's not that you do that and you give up chanting your rounds or visiting the temples or serving devotees or your spiritual master. You still continue doing that. But these 2 things, if you take into mind, the home is making to a temple, like how you see my Mr. Manjari and his family. This is the center of the house actually. The center of the house is the temple. Not many would do that. Usually families would put in a corner where the temple is unseen. It's with this space which is not required. So like this one, you can take for example of these devotees, how in a simple way they are practicing pure devotional service in the stage of Baba. I don't know whether
So you have an appointment with him. Make sure he's very experienced and realized in this. And good?
Yeah, yeah,
You have to meet with him. Is that okay?
yeah, yeah, 100%.
So just to, okay, yes.
Ninth chapter, 30th verse. 9th chapter, 30th verse. I wanted to understand at different levels for devotees to understand.
I don't know what's the 9th chapter and I don't know what's the 38th verse. You have to tell me.
Krishna saying that even if my devotee does the most abominable act, you should respect him as a sadhu. So 9:31 he says that Chitram Bhavati, he will come back to his normal thing. So when a devotee falls 9:30.
I understand now.
So then
Okay, I understand. Yeah.
different levels.
You have any family members here? Any other family members besides the two of you in your family? No, you have siblings, right?
Younger brother, younger sister, mother.
Okay. So you have an elder brother too?
He's the eldest.
Yeah, you have a younger brother. Yeah. So now, if your younger brother falls into an unfavorable activity, will you cut off the relationship as brother? What would you do?
Help him out, try to
You?
understand. Try to understand and help him out and support him.
Yeah. Now you have a grandfather, but he's late. Is there still? Okay. But you have a father. He's not. Say for example, you have a father. Now your father did something stupid or silly. Will you cut off the relationship with the father?
No?
What would you do?
I will just see I respect him.
You'll respect him, number one. Number two,
I will try to understand why it happened and I should
you'll try to understand why it happened. Number two. Number three,
if I can help, I will
if you can.
help.
Not if you can help. You're going to help. He's your father.
Yes. I will, unless he likes him, unless he is not favorable to me.
Doesn't matter.
From my side,
Doesn't matter. Okay. Now, next answer. If you see somebody falling down, what would you do?
I will try to help from my whatever I can do. Best.
Speak loudly.
I will try to help him out.
You will help him to get up, right? If somebody is falling, you help them to get up. Good so far?
Yes.
Now, if the same person, because you know them, they're falling and you're getting them up. You know them, right? Now they'll fall a second time. What would you do? Again help, right? Third time, what would you do? Again help. If you do it the seventh time, what would you do? You sure? You want your consciousness, this fellow is useless, he's falling 7 times, let him be fall, let him stay there. Sometimes that consciousness will come in, right? It's like he's not listening. Yeah.
I will counter a question. Suppose my father is a drunkard. He is so inhabited, I am trying to help, but he is not coming out of it. But still I have to continue.
We'll still continue, right? Yeah. So now, if the elder is doing something unfavorable continuously, and every time they're coming right by your help, and then they do it again and you're continuing to help, who's helping who? Who is helping who?
I am helping.
You are helping the person who's falling. Wrong. When somebody is falling, you are feeling that you are helping them, right? Yes or no? Yes. That's Maya. When somebody is falling and you are helping them, but they're falling for the 7th time, so now you stay down there, it's too much for me, I tried to help you the 7th time, you stay down there. Right? Then what will happen to you is that when you fall, nobody will help you. You getting it? Yeah. So when you're helping somebody who's falling, come up again 2nd, 3rd time, or how many times, you should continue to help because you are helping yourself not to fall down. That's the opportunity Krishna is giving you. You have to see how you're helping yourself. You're not helping the other person. The other person is falling is Krishna's arrangement so that you can help them to come up so that you won't fall. Are we clear? This is beyond that Bhagavad Gita verse. This is got to do with relationships. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is only establishing himself as the Supreme. You understand? But Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita establishes how we should maintain relationships irrespective of the person's situation. We okay so far? I'll give it to you in another way. Just like you preach to new people, right? And you know this new person, he's taking liquor, smoking cigarette, maybe he's a non-veg person also eating non-veg, right? But as soon as they give up the liquor, smoking cigarette, you get very happy, right? Isn't it? You get very happy because they're progressing from the lower nature and unfavorable habits and behavior. We good so far? Yeah. But you still keep connection, right? Yeah. Now what if it is a devotee who was following everything nicely, 4 regular principles, chanting and everything, and he falls? You understand? You're helping the new person who's not completely following the principles to come to Krishna consciousness. You must help that person who already knows what is Krishna consciousness and practices more than you're helping the new person. The same attitude should be done even more. Okay? But if I were you, I won't meditate too much on this. I'll just help whoever I can help, whatever the situation may be. By helping somebody who's falling or fallen, you're helping yourself not to fall. That's the principle. Okay? Okay, one more.
Maharaj, can I ask you a question?
Yes. Go ahead. I forget your name. I know you.
Jyoti.
Jyoti. So she's going to give us some light. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Jayeshwari Radhika Dasi. Jayeshwari Radhika Dasi.
Jayeshwari.
Yeah, got initiated last year on
Okay, fine.
28th. Since you know me, I want to give this information.
Okay.
Okay, so my question to you is, suppose a family is there and they have done a lot of devotional activities in one particular home, and for XYZ reason they have to sell that place and shift to another place, but they have done a lot of spiritual activities. So when they do that, does the fruit of the activities, spiritual activities which they have done, all these years, go away with the place, or it goes with the person?
So you were living in one house, right? You sold the house and you moved another place, right? But all those who were living in the house, they were devotees.
No, I'm just talking about myself. We are just planning
No.
to.
You need to move from one place to another,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You need to sell the old house where you were living in and move to a new place. We good? We okay so far?
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you are wondering, all those devotional activities and artis and japa and feasts and so forth in that house where you're leaving, will that consciousness remain there? That's what you're asking.
Actually,
No, you answer my question.
yes, consciousness and
Oh,
to
no,
some
wait, hold
extent, okay, consciousness.
Will that consciousness of the devotional activities remain in the home?
Yeah.
You're asking that question. Right? Clear?
Actually, I'm talking on behalf of my.
I haven't finished. There's a difference between a home and a house.
Okay. Right.
What's the difference? You tell me.
Yeah,
There's a
house
difference
is-
between a home and a house. What's the
See,
difference?
house is basically just four walls.
Exactly.
Home is where the family is staying together and carrying out.
Yeah, home means consciousness.
Yes.
House means building. Have I answered your question?
Yes.
Yes, what's your question?
Maharaj, you in the previous question you said that it is more important to help a person falling if he is already a devotee than helping a person who is a non-devotee.
I didn't say that.
That's what I meant. A new devotee, like we are always.
I didn't say that.
It's better.
I said that the consciousness in which you're helping somebody new to become a devotee and they're not following all the principles, you don't see that. You don't see they're still smoking cigarette or eating meat. You only can see that they're smoking less cigarettes and now they're eating less meat. Then you see there's progress, right? But you don't see that part to like write them off. Because you're encouraging them to come to follow the four regular principles and chant minimum 16 rounds. You're getting it? But what I said is more important to help a devotee who is practicing Krishna consciousness and knows the value of it. But you must not see, as you're not seeing those others who are not following nicely. You know, the new people who you're introducing to Krishna consciousness. So you have to have the same consciousness in seeing a devotee who was following nicely. Okay, now we cannot follow nicely, fine. So let me help him to come back to follow nicely. Just as you're helping the new person to come to follow nicely. The same consciousness should be there. Then you'll help more the devotee who has experienced and has some realization about Krishna consciousness.
But somebody who is already practicing Krishna consciousness, you cannot tell them because they already know everything.
No. And although they know everything, by some sort of, you could say whatever happened to them, they're not practicing anymore. You understand? We still have to extend ourselves to them. There's one pastime with Srila Prabhupada where one devotee who used to be a sannyasi left. Right? So he's late now. He was one of Prabhupada's closest sannyasis during his time. Yeah. I'll mention his name. Prabhupada named him Madhuvisa Swami. And on behalf of Prabhupada, he opened up the whole Australia. He went first to open up Krishna consciousness. He used to be a president also here in Bombay, of ISKCON Bombay. And at that time we didn't have the land in Jew, but he Prabhupada made it. Yeah. So when he left Krishna consciousness and he came to the temple to see Prabhupada in Los Angeles, he had a big beard. He wasn't following nicely. He left his sannyas. So when he came to see Srila Prabhupada, he heard Prabhupada was in Los Angeles. So one of the senior devotees saw him and recognized him through his eyes. Oh, you the one, you Madhuvisa. We don't want you here. You disgraced Prabhupada and you left. You left your sannyas, so go away. So another devotee saw that, was not as senior to this devotee who had chased this devotee. And he happened to be the temple president. But he wasn't senior as this other devotee. So he went straight to Srila Prabhupada. And he said, Srila Prabhupada, Madhuvisa came to see you, this other senior devotee chased him away, that you did disgraced our movement, you let down Prabhupada. So Prabhupada said, call him here. So that devotee, that senior devotee came to him. You did this? Prabhupada asked. He said, yes. He said, now go and find him and bring him to me. So he was just left like maybe 10 minutes. He went around and he found him in Venice Beach, which is not far from our temple in Montsik Avenue. And he brought him to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada told him, leave the room. So Madhu Visawade was the temple president who came and told Prabhupada what happened. So Prabhupada came and he said, come closer, come closer, come closer. So when he came right closer, all it happened was Prabhupada's tear fell on his head. That's all. And then he said, you wear white and you, when they get married, that's fine, but don't leave Krishna consciousness. And that's what he did. And he left his body in the Los Angeles temple and nearby, and he went back to Prabhupada. So then the other devotee who chased him away, literally, right? Prabhupada called him. And then the other devotee said, Prabhupada, I'm confused. He disgraced our movement, he left and so forth. Why you brought him back? Srila Prabhupada said that when somebody leaves Krishna consciousness, and when they come back, you should take it as an accidental fall down. Because they came back. And by you kicking him away, you made it very difficult for him to come back. Therefore I asked you to go and look for him and come back. See? And then Prabhupada told him, now you're going to beg forgiveness from him. You have to go and beg forgiveness from the devotee to where you chased him away. And then Prabhupada mentioned, you're preaching to so many new people to become devotees, he's coming back. So give him some special attention and encourage him. But not that, I'll give him sannyas again and put him in responsibility. No, he has to practice Krishna consciousness. And then Prabhupada made it very clear. Why do you want to go back to Godhead? What about him? It's a very simple thing. We want everyone to go back, including those who left. Come back and go back to Godhead. That's why it's more important to help devotees who experience Krishna consciousness. New people is easy, they'll come, you won't have a bad feeling about them. But don't have a bad feeling of those who left Krishna consciousness. They need even more help to come back. Is that okay? As much as, you may have a brother, you may have a father, you may have a sister. If they leave, you'll give more time, right? Because the connection is already there. The relationship is already there, that they lost the relationship and you want them to come back. You'll tell your sister or brother or father, I'm your sister, You'll say it like that, right? Please come back. But you won't do it to somebody who is new, right? So it requires more. Requires more effort. And Srila Prabhupada did say that spiritual organization in the material world is a very, very difficult proposition. We are flooded by so much maya, so much materialism, so much unfavorable consciousness and activities with others. So it's not easy to survive in the material world by having a spiritual organization. So whoever is survived and left, bring them back into the spiritual fold. It's true. Prabhupada said spiritual organization in the material world, very, very difficult proposition. It's not easy to have a spiritual organization in the material world. But we have it. Is that okay?
Maharaj, yes, regarding the issue, I would like to say something.
Mm-hmm.
On one occasion, I had heard from Guru Maharaj this topic about trying to preach a person who is adamant on not becoming a devotee or who's being stubborn or taking a long time. You know? So he told us, like, this question was made, I think by my brother Ananda, he made this question to Guru Maharaj, and he said, you give a reasonable time to any person, but don't be after him for too long, because there are millions of people who are waiting anxiously for a devotee to come and talk about Krishna.
Yes.
Instead of wasting your time on one person, and he's being stubborn anyhow, you're not like being given the charge of changing this person. If Krishna doesn't want it, no matter how much you try, he won't get the mercy. So spread out yourself. Go, and there are millions of people waiting on the streets. You never know. Just talk to them about Krishna and they take it so seriously.
Good. Practical answer. Yeah, I'll conclude with one more thing and then we can. Saram is here. Okay. So, we don't preach to make people devotees. You digesting? We preach to maintain ourselves as devotees. You have to follow that principle. Because if you preach to someone, if they want to take to Krishna consciousness, they'll take to it. But if you get frustrated and not becoming devotee, I preached to this person for 15 years, they're still not, then you get frustrated. Because you are thinking you're a great preacher and you are thinking also, I made him a devotee. Yeah. We have to preach to maintain ourselves in Krishna consciousness. Accidentally, incidentally, or by the way, by the mercy of the disciplic succession, somebody will become devotee. That's fine. But we should not become attached to the results of our preaching. You'll get frustrated. And you may leave Krishna consciousness, you may lose faith. So remember, we preach to maintain ourselves as practicing devotees. That's all. We're not attached to the result of who will become a devotee or not. That will happen anyway. That will happen anyway. All right. What's the menu?
We have paneer and
Oh, it's just paneer then, it's a food. What else?
puri and potato sabji and
Paneer, puri, potato sabji, 3 things. What else?
fruit salad,
Fruit salad, what else?
sweet.
5. How big piece of paneer?
That's for the mercy of
Like-
Govindas. I don't know how much they have.
2 inches or 2 centimeters? Is enough for Advaita Hari?
We have extra plates you want, you can take the plates.
All right, so who's serving prasad? You're going to serve here, right?
Yeah.
To close the altar. So everyone, yes.
I just wanted to say thank you for this incredible lecture discussion. It's really nice to see someone really know what devotee care is and embody devotee care. So I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, is somebody in the kitchen, like, getting the things ready, Prema Manjari?
It's all ready.
Getting ready. Okay, everyone can repeat after me. Mahaprasade Govinde.